I would now like to bring in the Honourable Jean Augustine. She was the first elected African-Canadian woman to the House of Commons. She is a social justice advocate and president of the Centre for Young Women's Empowerment. She joins me from Toronto. Good morning. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us.
I am really very pleased, very happy to be speaking about what was considered or what is considered to be a very, very important debate that took place last evening.
All right. Important. How come?
Because, again, for the first time, we have an African Indian woman of color who is in the chair and who could possibly be the next, what we all are hoping could have an opportunity at the top job later on down the line.
What pressure do you think she was under last night?
She was under great pressure. I can tell you, having been in the political arena for these number of years, having to do debates and be in places where debates are planned, and I can tell you that it is the pressure that says you have to ensure that you don't leave any lines behind. That could be the mantra for the opposition. As a Black woman, as a woman of color, you have to ensure that all the stereotypes that there are about women of color, you get angry, it's the angry Black woman, that you could be sarcastic, that you could somehow or the other, at the wrong time or at the right time, not reach what the expectations are for you. She was calm, her demeanor was calm. She did, and reminded me very much about the strong Black women I know. The expression on her face as she listened to what were untruths said by her opponent, the fact that she was able to very gently say, I am speaking now. And I know that as Black women, this is usually the way to get the floor. I'm speaking now. Listen. And she got his attention, despite the fact that the moderator, it seemed, allowed him some leverage to go over time and to do rebuttals that were not at the appropriate times. But at the same time, she ticked off all the boxes.
Much of your work is focused on helping girls and women achieve their potential.
Yes.
To see, as a young person, Kamala Harris on stage last night, and again, you expressed many of the barriers that she had to overcome. What do you think it means to young people?
I think someone said it before I did a while ago. If you can't see it, you can't be it. I think that young girls are motivated by mentors when they see when they see women doing things, accomplishing things, being in the political arena or being in the corporate world, and having accomplishments. And she, what Kamala did last night was brilliant. She showed her bio in a few words. She was able to say, I did this, that, the other, the next. I held this position. I was whatever. And showed who she was. That she was not just a person that was just picked to be a candidate, but that she had gone through all of these life experiences. She threw in the issue of her mother's immigrant status. And when the young girls, the ones who come to the center, when we present them with role models, when we present them with women who are accomplishing, when we have women come in and talk about their careers and talk about the many falls and that they've had and how they've been able to pick themselves up, people who did not believe in them or who did not boost their self-esteem at the right times, and how they've overcome that. That says to young girls that they can do it, and that there is nothing that can change their trajectory if they somehow want certain goals.
Yeah, it says this is what is possible.
That's right.
Last question for you. What do you make of the way the COVID-19 pandemic has been handled by the current U.S. administration? And what do you think could change if Joe Biden and Kamala Harris win the election next month?
Well, I think the whole world would agree that it was poorly and badly handled by the U.S., by the White House. I think that that there was a president whose vanity, whose and I'm trying to choose my words carefully so that I'm not the angry black woman. That this is a president who just wants theatrics, who did not see the importance of letting the American people know when he himself knew how serious this was, who looked around finding scapegoats, blaming others instead of focusing on what could be done. I think as a Canadian and as someone who's seen what has been happening in Canada, we see how our provincial premiers and all those in leadership in the health field, how they're coming together with similar messages. And we're not fighting each other. The federal government is not pushing aside information from research bodies and from the health authorities whose responsibility it is to make and to give information to Americans. So I think it has been handled in a shameful fashion, and I listened very carefully to what VP Biden says that he will do, what Kamala Harris, as his support together, they will do. And so the wish, I think, for, at least from my perspective and from the perspective of many Americans, is that there is a new regime and that they will attend to what are the needs of Americans in this COVID time. Here you have identified, he was identified as having the disease, having the virus, and he wants to expose everybody to this virus. This is just incredible behavior.
Jean Augustine, pleasure speaking with you this morning. I do appreciate your time with us and your thoughtful words. Jean Augustine, of course, the first elected African-Canadian woman to the House of Commons. We'll talk to you again.
Well, thank you then, Marcy. Thank you and have a good day.
You too.